Yeah.
We're playing Carrion.
I'm playing Carrion. Okay, review portion.
Okay. Review Carrion.
I absolutely 100% adore this fucking game.
Well, that doesn't sound like a very objective review, Eric.
A 10 out of 10. Like, okay, so
No review is objective.
here's
I just want to make that clear.
here's how it
No
is.
review is objective.
You
Every
can't-
review is a subjective opinion. That's something that I feel like a lot of people that read game reviews and get pissed off don't understand.
Right, exactly.
Is that this is literally just one person's opinion of a game.
How about you write your own review if you love the fucking game?
Everybody
so much?
can write a review.
Anybody can.
Nowadays.
It's true.
You can make a blog. You can make a YouTube video.
You can go on Yelp and talk about your shitty experience at Applebee's.
Do they review video games
No,
on
but
Yelp?
there probably is a section.
Is there
I
a
don't know.
Yelp for games?
I don't know.
Besides like just the Metacritic user review section.
Give it a shot and see. And the Steam reviews section.
They probably call it something dumb though, like Gelp.
Yelp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so no, what's your review of Carrion?
Oh,
Your objective review.
Carrion is fantastic. It's smooth. It's gratuitously gross. It's fluid. It's gratuitously smooth fluid.
Those are all just the same words, but in different order.
The sound is fantastic, and by sound I mean like the lack of sound. It's so perfectly creepy and ambient until you actually get into like a really awful fight.
All right, Game Pass. Jesus Christ, get off the screen.
Yeah, I know, seriously. But yeah, it's a perfect Metroidvania. It's a real video games game. You know, where, you know how people say, it's like, oh, he's a real man's man. This is a real video games game. Delicious meat and potatoes, violent, fun, just pick a direction and cause carnage, just go with it. And eventually you have to do some backtracking, but, you know, that's par for the course.
Okay.
This is a delicious monster romp.
I agree with some of what you said, but not all of it.
Oh, you played this?
I did. I got Devolver sent me a code for this when this came out.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So no, I quite enjoyed this game. I think it was really, really fun.
Oh, yeah.
It has one major glaring flaw that I think is a key thing that every Metroidvania needs to include.
No map.
No map. That's exactly
no
what it
map.
is. And there are games that are like Metroidvanias that can get away with no map.
Yeah.
Uh,
This almost can.
I think that you know what another Metroidvania game that I played last year that I really, really loved.
Is it Bloodstained?
Yes,
that's on
but-
my list.
Yes, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
And I think Bloodstained was the year before last.
Oh, was
right?
it? Okay.
I don't know.
They all kind of run together ever since the pandemic.
I'm pretty sure Bloodstained was at least 2019, if not 2018.
Right.
But no, Bloodstained is a fantastic game, and if you haven't played it and you enjoy Metroidvanias, then you definitely should, because it's the best one since Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Just because it is Castlevania Symphony of the Night again.
You're saying some really good words to me.
What I was going to say is that another Metroidvania game that I played recently that I really, really loved recently in the past 2 or 3 years was Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Okay, yeah.
And Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yeah.
Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisps, they do have a map. I don't think that game technically needs one, but only because all of the different areas are so memorable and so differently, like the art style, it remains consistent throughout, but because of the background music and because of the different colors and the ambiance, you can tell like where everything is located almost on instinct. Whereas in Carrion, it feels a lot more like the levels kind of all blur together after a while.
Yeah, a little bit.
And that makes, when they all blur together and when because it's not only that they're not super iconically designed, but it's just that you blow through them so quickly
Absolutely.
as the monster.
Yeah.
You don't have time to sit there and like be like, oh, this is the up area that takes me to here. This is, if I go down and left, there's a locked door, but I can't get through that now. Like, those are all things when you play a Metroidvania that your brain like logs, but when you just zoom through everything like this game does, you miss out on that.
And I feel like the zooming kind of makes up for the lack of that, because you can blow through those areas so fast, you can blow back to where you need to possibly be just as quickly.
That's true, but again, I feel like that makes it easier for you to get lost.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because you can blow straight through, and the last time you were just like, okay, I need to go up, so you go, because you're just following. I never actually played this with a controller, so I did this with mouse point.
Oh really?
Like on the PC version, you just
Yeah.
like move your mouse around, and he'll just follow it. Like you just
Right.
click and hold, and he'll just tendril that way.
Okay. Well, okay. So the movement is essentially all left stick, and your directional powers are right stick. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do think that it's an interesting conundrum that there appears to be so many games all of a sudden that take inspiration from John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah. Uh huh.
Because it's
Ill.
not.
You're talking about Ill, aren't you? Have you seen the trailer for Ill?
I have not. This is another one.
This is something that you don't know of.
It's not. What is Ill?
You haven't seen the trailer for Ill. Ill is a first-person horror, Cronenbergy body horror type, but really graphically polished and pretty.
Who made by who?
I am not entirely sure.
Okay.
But the design of the people who are taken over by supposed monsters, I really don't know what the main plot of it is, but they kind of eventually they have a monster burst out of them, and they themselves become the big body horror monster. But
The person that you're playing as?
No, the people that you're against.
Okay.
The enemies. But their heads, they kind of look weird and distorted and almost like from far away mannequin-like, but they're all kind of pushed out. You have to see it. I'm doing a poor job of describing it, but that's the creepiest part of it. It's not even so much the body horror and the gore, it's their appearance before they make their full transformation as they lunge at you.
Right.
It's just really unsettling to me. It's kind of like those pig masks from that episode of The Twilight Zone,
Okay. Yeah.
but without ears.
Interesting.
Yeah. We'll have to watch it after this. It's
Yeah.
really,
That
yeah.
seems interesting.
yeah. I really wish I could remember who's making it, but I fucking can't.
No, I was thinking about Among Us actually.
Oh yeah.
Among Us is the thing.
Essentially, yeah.
It is. There's no essentially. It is the thing.
It is the
Like,
thing in space.
It's well, unless you want to look at the Polis map,
Okay.
which is literally on like an ice planet, and has like labs and stuff.
And you're trying to leave because it sucks.
I do like this game. I never beat it because I felt like it got fairly repetitive after a while.
Yeah.
I think that. How do you feel about the flashbacks?
I actually really dig the flashbacks.
Okay.
It's good expositional stuff. Like it kind of breaks up the monotony of zooming through stuff after a little while. There's another bit. One of my big gripes is the ladders when you do the flashbacks.
Yes,
they're
they're very slow.
And you kind of get stuck on. I kept getting stuck on the bottom of them for a second, and it would just irk me.
I don't remember having that issue, but I very well.
I think
have.
it's probably just a console thing, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But this game just genuinely made me happy playing it.
Well, that's good.
I had an ear-to-ear grin pretty much the entire time. And that's the beauty of these types of games, these Metroidvanias. If you get stuck in one area, you don't even have to keep pounding your head against the wall. You can just find a different wall to pound your fucking head against.
That's true. I like Metroidvanias. I do think, again, that this one does very much lose out by not having a map. I think just having a map, even a very, very simple one, would have made it a lot easier to find your way around, to know where you were going next.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's still fun. It is a fun game. It's well designed. It's very, very pretty.
It is so pretty.
For what it's trying to do.
I was entranced. I am just entranced with the way this fucking thing moves.
I think that Devolver is one of my more favorite game publishers.
They're a hell of a publisher, aren't they?
Just for the amount of weird shit that they do.
Yeah, and pardon the pun, they're having a monster couple of years with this and Fall Guys.
Fall Guys was
for the
Devolver.
short time it was popular.
Fall Guys is still kind of popular.
Before, what was the thing that took Fall Guys.
That was
and
Among Us
stole
again.
its thunder. Yeah,
That
Among Us again.
That was Among Us again.
Damn that Among Us!
Look, Among Us is a fantastic
It really
game.
is. It's good.
And there's a, like... It's one of those things that I think, you know, a lot of people give, like, game streamers and stuff like that shit for being useless and unnecessary. And I get that.
Okay, sure.
Well, I'm talking about, like, the people that go on there and, like, attract all of those, the really toxic fans. And, like, you just look at so many, like, game streaming communities. And they're just the worst people. But if it wasn't for those types of people, there are so many games that no one would hear about.
Yeah, you wouldn't know about them.
And it's not it's Steam's fault, really. I don't even know if it's their fault, because it is such a good thing that they allow so much different content on their platform. But at the same time, the lack of any sort of, like, real cohesive what would you call that? Like an organization of who is and who isn't, like, actually worthy of being on that platform.
Oh, sure, like a hierarchy.
There's no quality control when it comes to what can and what can't be on Steam, and that's how you get you know, games like shoot JFK in the head. Or here's
Anime Puzzle RPG Adventure 12.
You know, yeah, the Oops All Boobs edition. And because there is so much garbage on Steam, cool shit like Among Us,
It just
which
gets
came
buried.
out in 2018,
which is why
buried.
it took it so long to get popular.
But if it wasn't for, like, big video game streamers playing it, finding it, discovering it, and showing it to people, and other people seeing how, like, enjoyable it can be to play, then no one would have figured it out in the first place.
Right.
Like,
right. Well, another side of that coin is I'm really thankful for the attention that indie developers and lesser-known developers and publishers are getting. You know, they're almost under a microscope now, because this almost retro-style, small studio feel game is just getting more and more limelight, and that's just fantastic to me.
are you okay?
Yeah, I'm itchy.
Why are you so itchy?
I don't know.
Do you have lice?
No, I don't have lice. It's not lice.
You sure
At
it's
least
not
I
lice?
hope it's not lice. No, it's not lice.
Oh no, you can't go that way. Wah wah. I do think that this type of game, in this sort of, especially like something like this that is so visually repetitive, doesn't lend itself to streaming in a way that it does, where it's like you're getting more enjoyment out of playing it than people are watching it.
Yeah.
Whereas something like Among Us, the people that are watching it are trying to figure out who the imposter is just as much as the people playing it are. And so it has that kind of, like, community aspect to it.
Well, it all depends on what kind of community you attract. I mean, everyone has their different games that they play and the people that they talk to, and you know, this game could be marketed by a streamer. Absolutely, it just takes the right streamer. Someone chill, someone who is into horror, someone who is into Metroidvanias. You know, it all depends on how you market yourself and market your wares and market other people's wares.
If anything else, the popularity, the massive, like, skyrocketing popularity of Among Us should show companies like, let's just say Nintendo, that it is okay to let people stream their games. You know, because it's not going to lead to less sales. People aren't going to... It
absolutely is not.
People are not going to spend less on your game because they saw a gameplay video of it, you know?
No.
And
it's like, I see this streamer having fun with this game, and they're having these great grand highlight stream moments. I want those moments for myself. I'm going to buy buy this game.
Yeah.
I don't understand how there's this disconnect with the fact that it is essentially free fucking advertising.
It is. That is. There's not even an essentially. Like, that's all it is. Well, I mean, as long as your game is good.
Yeah, as long as your game is good.
If your game is shitty, then, you know, it's free proof that the game is shitty. And that if the game is shitty, then people... If you don't want people showing other people your game,
You know.
why are you so ashamed of it?
Yeah, right? You
Like,
can't
what-
get other people to be excited about your work because you're not excited. What the fuck, honestly? Anyway, I had a thought, but I lost it.
Your mass is getting to be a fairly sizable...
My mass is too massive. I'm humongous.
Yeah, it's a little samey, but it's a fun game.
It's fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. I had a blast.
Like a vagina mouth. Oh, and now you've opened the center orb.
That's kind of the whole shtick. The rule of 3. Go through the portal, open the door,
So
go
when
through
you-
the next section.
So are you like leaving part of yourself behind in the save file? Like, is that... did you leave some of your body mass there?
I think
Cause
I'm just part of the whole facility. I'm integrated into it somehow. Because I'm not entirely sure the whole story of this game, but I'm very intrigued by it.
Well, I do know the ending, but I will not spoil it for you.
Oh, please don't, because I intend to finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you brought this in.
Yeah, me
This
too.
was a good video.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Oh no, what's happening?
Flashback.
Oh no, we're playing Crisis now.
Which one?
The first... That's what that reminds me of. That little hexagonal...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And here's our very slow flashback.
No, I kind of breezed through these, actually.
Stop scratching.
I can't help it.
It's not good.
I know.
I'm gonna get you to a doctor.
I've been to a doctor. I've been to several doctors. Nobody knows what's wrong with me.
Well, don't get it on the floor.
Itchy
Lord.
tasty.
I eat off of that.
Delicious.
Is that a Resident Evil joke?
Yeah, itchy tasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Itchy? Tasty.
Itchy tasty.
That was Resident Evil 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was like one of the best pieces of writing that Resident Evil ever did.
Itchy tasty.
In a game. Was that? Yeah, it was that whole journal.
Oh, that whole journal. Yeah, yeah.
That whole journal entry of it was what? It was like the groundskeeper, right? That he was turning into a zombie.
Mm-hmm. And you could just like see the decline. Of
Yeah, you could see his declining mental state as
Yeah.
it went on. Like that was probably peak Resident Evil letters you could find, and then it's a shame that it had to happen in the first game since there's been so many since.
Oh yeah.
It's just all downhill.
And
from
they're
there.
not gonna stop. Speaking of a company that's having a fucking monster fucking year, they're coming out with another.
Capcom?
Yeah, they're coming out with another fucking Resident Evil and another Resident Evil. That have you seen that that other multiplayer one?
The other multiplayer that's totally not just Resistance again.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, I was confused when I saw that.
Yeah.
I was just like, I thought I already had that game. I mean, Resistance was fun.
It was fun.
I enjoyed
I-
the asymmetrical multiplayer.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't really like playing as the people. I preferred playing as the Umbrella operative, like
Oh,
placing
see,
the
I
traps
love
and stuff.
I love playing as the survivors.
Well, see, that's why it's good that there are different types
there are
of
different
people.
types of people, exactly.
In Among Us, do you prefer to be the imposter or do you prefer to be a crewmate?
I much prefer to be the imposter.
Yeah, I do too.
It's so much more fun.
Yeah, a lot of people, they say they get too stressed out when they're the imposter. And
Yeah, you feel like you're under a lot of
like you're a lot of pressure, but I enjoy it so much.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, secretly murdering people and then lying about it seems
yeah.
to be a skill that I'm really good at.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
yeah.
it's not something that I've cultivated. It just seems to have turned up organically that way.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
that's good to know for the future if I ever did have to secretly murder anybody and then lie about it.
Well,
Not that I would, but it's good to know.
see now if we're ever in a thing situation,
Yeah.
now I would immediately look at you.
Well, it wouldn't be me lying, it would be the alien.
Fair enough, but you're still the host.
Yeah, but I wouldn't, like... me personally, I wouldn't want any of us to die.
Okay, yeah.
If an alien wanted us to die, I would tell you.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, unless the alien forced me not to. See, that's where the thing starts to... Like, how much of the human... Once the thing takes over a human body, how much of the human mind is left in there?
It depends on what stage of thinginess you're in.
Because it seems like they're able to continue being themselves up until, you know, the monster breaks out. Like, you know, that dog was a dog up until it wasn't a dog anymore.
Right.
That's still like the worst scene in the thing.
Yeah.
To me, is when it comes out of the dog.
Anything with a dog.
Well, yeah, there is that.
Like, do you ever see? We've talked about this before. The scene in Return of the Living Dead Part 2.
Yes.
With the split dog.
Yes.
Coming to life in the medical warehouse.
Yeah, that one's nuts.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. You know, when it's really, like, fantastical like that,
yeah,
it almost bothers me less. Like, I could watch that before I could watch, like, Where the Red Fern Grows Again.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I could go the rest of my life and never read that book or watch that movie again, and I'd be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
probably especially now that I have children, like, yeah, it's just too much.
Yeah, if you want to watch a grown man cry, just bring me something sad about a dog. And then it doesn't take long either. Like there's that commercial, the Pedigree commercial, where the girl is in the hospital bed and she's like, "Oh, I guess I'm ready for more treatment," and it's all sad and shit. And then the nurse comes in, it's like, "I think we're gonna try something different today." And then she brings in a dog, and then the kid just instantly lights up, and I'm just like, "Oh my god, dogs are so good!" And then I'm just a puddle on the floor for like the next 45 minutes, just spooning my dog and trying, you know, real hard not to cry, but actually crying.
Well, I gotta tell you, Eric, for $10 you can pay for YouTube Premium, and then you don't get commercials anymore. you can solve that problem real easy.
You were gonna say for $10 an hour you can lie down on that couch over there and tell me even more.
Oh, look at that symbol. That's the Abstergo symbol.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. God.
Rabbit season.
So stupid.
you trying to gaslight me?
I can't believe you would think that.
Oh, I must be crazy, right?
It's like only what a retard would think. Don't say that word, Eric. Jeez.
I didn't.
Don't say that.
Fuck you.
That word is not polite anymore.
It's not.
It never. Say that.
It never was.
It never
Chris.
was. You're right.
It's a really good Christopher Teuton impression you've got there, Eric.
Yep, doing this again.
Yep, doing that. Listen, I got up this morning and I realized I hadn't recorded a video. And I was like, hey, this game looks fun.
Should have looked up fun facts about it.
Okay, here's the thing. So there's a big meeting at Devolver, and they said, hey, we got an idea for our new Metroidvania. And then this guy, he's like, hey, I saw this video about worms on YouTube. Did you ever see that video? Where
did I ever see that video
did you ever
about
see that
worms
video
on YouTube?
about the worms? You know the one I'm talking about.
I really don't.
Where I'm gonna explain it to you. You know the one where
oh god,
there's this sewer system in North Carolina, and there was this big fucking clog in it,
and it was worms.
Yeah, they send
like butt worms.
No, well, I mean I don't know if they were butt worms.
Well, if they were in a sewer.
Well, okay,
the sewer comes from the butt.
It does come from the butt, like babies. Anyway. So they send a...
I'm just saying, we could be watching me adventure across Valheim.
A camera... Not more Valheim. We did 93 minutes of Valheim last week.
I know, and we should do 93 more.
I don't want to do that.
I've got a bridge I need to build.
That's fine. But yeah, they send a robot with a camera on it down in the pipes to see what the clog was, and it was a big ball of tube-effects worms.
Tube effects?
Tube effects.
Is that like
special effects that come out of a tube?
That's fine. I was thinking it sounds like one of those graphics that douchebags have on the back of their pickup trucks. Like this,
Oh, like tap out?
Yeah, it's Tube FX, and and it's for their muffler, and it's like neon lights for their muffler.
Oh, I could totally see that too. Yeah.
Bro, you don't have Tube effects?
Yeah, you should have.
You gotta light up your noise, brah.
Light up your noise. That's their fucking slogan too.
Light up your noise.
Light up your noise.
I love that. I'm so fucking smart.
But yeah, they saw that video, and
who did? Devolver.
Devolver.
The person at Devolver.
Yeah, the person.
The random developer.
Yeah, the guy's just like, I have an idea.
Where did you hear this story? Is this hearsay? Is this fact?
No,
this is made up bullshit?
This is headcanon for me.
This is headcanon, okay.
Yeah,
well, we need to establish that, because, like,
for all I know, it probably is fucking true.
We need to...
Inspiration can come from everywhere, even a butt full of worms.
Alright, so now you can break through...
Yeah, I can break through all these barriers.
Nice!
So I can Metroidvania my way
Oh, now you gotta go all the way back to all the ones you didn't break before and see what's behind them.
That's true.
You know what would make that a lot easier? A map.
I actually did. I got through this surprisingly not stuck on many places for very long without a map.
And again, like, no map is easier in games. All right, so Dark Souls doesn't have a map.
No.
Incredibly complex topography, interconnected, vertical places like weave and wrap into each other. No map at all. But it gets away with it because at any given point, you can look around and see where you're going. Like, it does such a good job of, like, when you land at Firelink Shrine, you can look up and you can see the church where you need to ring the bell. And you can look all the way down and you can see into, like, New Londo and stuff. And it's just like, everywhere you look and you see, you end up going there. And that really, really helps to give you a sense of direction, even though there is no map. And you lose that in 2D. Because the screen's only ever going to be yay big.
Right.
And you can't, like, rotate your view to get a different idea of what's happening. Are you going to let this guy with a machine gun kill you again? Oh.
I think I got
I'm going to be real
this.
disappointed if you die here again.
I've died a few times in this playthrough, but I don't think these guys got me.
You've latched on with your tentacle. That thing looks... It does a good job of making it look very umbilical cordy.
Yeah, this game does a really good job of conveying that it's fucking gross. And
Did you cut your child's umbilical cord?
No, they would not let me.
Okay.
Because...
Did you ask?
I did ask.
Okay.
I asked, and they said no, because everything was different for COVID.
Oh, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what the difference, the difference in experience will be going from having a baby before COVID to having a baby after COVID.
Right.
And how the different precautions will be taken.
Oh, yeah, all this will still be going on when you're...
I imagine by September we haven't progressed very far, yes.
Sometimes I forget that you guys are having another one.
Yeah, well... Yeah, before they start to show, it's hard to keep it in your head. You know,
right.
When you get to like the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9 months, and there's like a noticeable belly.
Holy shit, this is way more real.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man, that fucking the 3D ultrasound thing that they did was so cool. It was crazy to be able to see it with that much definition that early on, because she was only
that is crazy.
Like 9 weeks. You know, and I will say, and I hate to say this.
Yeah.
I do, because I want everybody to make their own decisions.
Right.
I will say that being able to see it with that high def of an ultrasound...
It definitely changes
at
things.
9 weeks.
Yeah.
That changes how I feel about abortions a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Christ.
Yep.
Like...
Maybe you shouldn't say because Christ.
Well, no, not because Christ. Christ has nothing to do with it. Nor should he ever. But I mean, it does not take long for it to be a baby.
No, not
and
really.
It's a hard decision to make. That was just so cool. Like you could see it in there, and it looked like he was already like dancing. I say he, we don't know yet. It
Yeah.
feels like a he, but we won't know until the next one, because we're doing because we're a little bit older now. They want to do like a blood test to make sure, like, check for all kinds of
Oh yeah, they did the same thing for us.
the Down syndrome and everything.
Yeah, and then
so
all the spina bifida and
all
that
the
shit.
very terrifying things that you want to make sure aren't happening.
Yep. And before those results come in, you are like,
Oh.
holy shit.
Oh yeah.
Should I have even passed on my genes?
Yeah,
Do I have
exactly.
this lying dormant in me? Has it been there the whole fucking
Well, I
time?
don't
How
know-
come nobody fucking told me?
I don't know if you remember, but we got actually sent to a high intensive care screening, because what had ended up happening was that the nurse at the midwife clinic.
Games with dogs!
Hey, no, Maka. What had ended up happening was that the nurse at the midwife clinic had written down my partner's weight as being about 200 pounds more than it actually was.
That's not right.
It is absolutely not right. But because of that, we were flagged as a high risk pregnancy, and so they took us in, and like based on that data, it was just all very, very scary.
Yeah.
And then like after we got screened, they came in and sat down and said, like, so you don't weigh like 300 and something pounds, and we were like, no.
Maybe,
like,
maybe
oh well,
put together.
It says here on this chart that you do, and that's why you're here. And we were like, so everything's fine. And they said, yeah. I was like, oh, thank God.
You're not gonna charge us, are you?
And they were like, so anyway, do you want to know what the gender of your baby is? Because we have that info too. And that's when we found out.
I absolutely wanted to fucking know.
Oh yeah, I couldn't imagine not wanting to
Absolutely.
know. Like just to be a little more prepared and
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I don't know. I feel like it helps with names.
It really does.
But that gets into the other argument of how much gender do you want to assign to them?
Yeah. How much gender are they gonna choose to keep?
Yeah. Which is a whole different
Yep.
ball game.
Whole other ball game.
Hitting all the high button topics this week.
Oh yeah.
So anyway,
It may take us a while to get there, but we're getting there.
Where's that, Fallujah?
Why the fuck would we end up going there? Why the fuck would we want to?
Why would anyone want to spend more than 5 days in Fallujah?
I guess it's warmer than here, the entire fucking continental United States, but that's about it. That's all it's really got going for it. Are you trying to transition into 6 days in Fallujah?
No, I was just thinking of controversial subjects that are going on in the gaming industry right now. I
Oh,
don't really want to
sure.
talk about it.
Okay.
I would prefer that everyone not know that game exists and just ignore it.
Don't spend any time in Fallujah. Unless, of course, you live there, in which case, thanks for watching our video. How the fuck did you find us?
And also, congrats on your English for making it this far. If I
Awesome.
was watching a video from someone produced in Fallujah and they were speaking their own language, I would not be able to understand a fucking thing.
I'd be completely lost. And I hear English is a very hard language to
Because
learn.
I can only speak Spanish, and I can only understand a little bit of Greek. And those are the only languages besides English I have any proficiency in, and both of them are severely lacking for the amount of time I've spent in both cultures.
I don't even speak English fluently very well some of the time.
That's true. All this looks the same.
Yep. Liz, trust me, it was a lot more fun playing it. You know, he kind of looks like Meatwad.
I thought that a little bit while I was playing this too.
That just dawned on me. I played this for a whole hour this morning, and I was like,
Yeah.
It never once occurred to me that he looks like Meatwad.
Well, because he looks more like
A hot dog.
spaghetti wad
Oh yeah, he doesn't like spaghetti.
because of the tendrils.
Yeah. Or like a bunch of red yarn.
Did you ever play that game that was so pretty and that was so cute when they unveiled it at E3? Unravel.
I did not play Unraveled.
I
It
would
is
like to play Unraveled
Unraveled
at some
and
point.
Unraveled 2.
Oh yeah, there's a second one.
Yeah, are both on Game Pass right now.
Oh, you should play
I should
Unraveled.
probably play
You
them.
can bring that here.
I just freed
Bring
up
me
a-
something I haven't seen and or don't hate.
Okay,
for
sure.
once.
Yeah. This game is very enjoyable,
It is.
but it's just not fun to watch. I get it.
It's not
fine.
fun to watch.
I get it. It's
And
fine.
and
We don't even have to watch it. We can just sit here and bullshit for the next however fucking long the recording is.
I just want to give you shit for something.
That's fine. I mean, I know that.
So, get off my ass.
Oh, okay then.
Get off my ass so I can get onto yours. Jesus. Not in a gay way. Or
I mean,
hey.
no.
Hey.
Hey. Whoa.
Hey.
Hey now.
Hey.
Whoa.
You're an all-star.
Get your gay on.
Oh, murder. Oh, those poor people.
That's my...
That is the
very
best
satisfying.
That is why this game is more fun to play than it is to watch, is because of moments exactly like that. Because you go in and you're like, oh, none of those guys are soldiers. That's just food. I'm just gonna fucking tear the shit out of them. And it has the same catharsis that another game that came out around the same time does. Do you remember? Maneater.
Oh yeah, that's
Remember that game that was also fun to play and not really to watch for only about 15-20 minutes?
Yeah, honestly. And I got really... See, I like Chris Parnell, but I got really fucking tired of him.
That's too much Chris Parnell.
That is a lot of Chris Parnell.
Yeah. I feel like Chris Parnell as a voice actor has been overused at this point. Especially with, what is it, Rick and Morty, right?
Yeah.
He's Jerry.
Yeah.
When you combine both
I want to see
Rick
Chris
and Morty
Parnell and
Archer,
Justin Roiland and Troy Baker get in a fucking fight for voice actor supremacy. Tara Strong's
that
in
would
there,
be
too.
the worst fight. Like, I'm picturing those three people. And Justin Roiland, who's, like, stoned. and Chris Parnell, who's nervous. And then you have Troy Baker, who is... There's a lot of... He's pretentiousing at them. And he's sitting there in his fedora.
Or his beanie cap. We love you, Troy.
Wearing a shirt of Pedro Pascal.
There's somebody else who's blown up. Fucking Pedro Pascal.
Well, I don't know. That joke is, I don't know if you saw, but Pedro Pascal was cast as Joel in the Last of Us TV show for HBO.
I did see that.
Yeah, he's Joel, and then Bella Ramsey, the little girl from Game of Thrones, the Bear Island girl.
Yeah.
She's gonna be Ellie.
I don't hate that.
It's weird casting. I think it's fine. I think it's probably better to go for people who aren't exactly like the people like Joel and Ellie, because otherwise it would be like that weird. You're trying to be too close to this thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same case as when you look at like Tom Holland as Nathan Drake.
That's a little too on the nose.
Think about how much fucking money. Just saying both of those things out loud. Think about how much fucking money Naughty Dog is making from fucking IP, like just giving their IPs to companies right now. Like here, make this Uncharted movie, make this Last of Us TV show, and we just put out Last of Us 2 this year. So this year we're all gonna take a break, I think. And just let the checks come in.
Shit, we have to at some point.
Well, that's a different argument.
No, we can talk about overtime.
Well, yeah.
if you want.
I mean, yeah, okay, so,
100-hour work weeks, we certainly can touch on that.
Everybody gets treated differently in different industries. And I do think that obviously, you should never force your employees to work more than they need to.
Of course not.
There are always going to be people who want to.
Yeah, at some point it's just a labor of love argument.
Yes, and I mean, I myself, like, my technical work schedule for my job is 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. I start working probably around 8:15, 8:30 every day, and I get done around 6:30 or 7.
Wow.
That's my work day.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of reasons for that. I do work from home, so I have to take care of the children. I have to, change the baby. There's things that I do throughout the day that make like certain things. It's not, it's obviously not like 9 to 5. I never move from what I'm doing.
Right.
Like there are things that come up that I have to deal with, and that's part of the reason why I try to have a longer day, is to give time for those things.
Yeah, of course.
But at the same time, it's also because if I have an idea that's really good, I'm going to work longer to see it through, because I know when I come back tomorrow, it's not going to be as fresh or as good then.
Nope.
And that's a fact of working. That happens all the time in the film industry. Like when I worked, I've never worked in any job as hard as I did when I worked on movie sets. Mm-hmm. And those are people that they're and as the caterer, we were there 2 hours before any sort of call for cast or staff or crew or anything, because the food had to be ready when they got there as per union rules. But we're not in a union; we're just the hired caterer, so we can get there at 4 a.m. if they have to eat at 6. But then we need to be there for the next, 12 hours so that they get their lunch and so that that's cleaned up, and then they get their dinner if there's people that are staying on longer. Like, there's always things, and, 15, 16, 17-hour days for stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, it sucks, and, yeah, it's a little exploitative in terms of just, like, your free time. But it's also, it's like camping. That's what it feels like when you're in something like that, is you're all in it together, and you have chosen to take this 2-3 month period of your life and make this thing happen. And you're willing to do anything and everything that it takes to see that through. In game design, obviously, that is slightly different because it's a much more prolonged process. Mm-hmm. A game takes anywhere from 2 to 7 years to make and to complete. And because of that, there's no need to rush. You can take your time. If somebody wants to work late because they have a cool idea, that's fine. But they're not doing that because we said we would get this done in 2 years and you have to work to make that. Those are two very different things. And the nothing should be announced with a release date until every single thing in the game is set in stone and it's not going to be changed. Mm-hmm. That's one rule that should be in place.
Should be.
It's not, but
yeah.
After last year, after things like Cyberpunk and stuff, it would just make sense to where games will take as long as they need to take until they're done. And then once you know that nothing is going to be changed and everything at this point is just polish and bug fixes, that's when you announce a release date. And and still make it long enough to where if anything comes up in the meantime, you can fix it. And if at some point, if you fix it before then, if you do that, then, just release it and change it. Move your date up. Yeah. But moving your date up will always make people more excited than moving your date back. And I just feel like that would be a much better way to handle that.
It's a double-edged sword, because if you announce that it's coming out a little early, people are always going to be skeptical about it. It's like, well, what about this, and what about this, and this problem might exist, and this problem might exist. And then if you release it later, you've got that wave of criticism.
Are you telling me that if right now Bethesda posted a tweet that said, hey, I know we said don't expect Elder Scrolls 6 until 2023, but because we've all been working from home, and because we recently hired a lot of new people, we've actually become much more farther along on the project than we thought we would have previously.
Yeah.
And so because of that, we are happy to announce that the Elder Scrolls 6 will be coming in 2022 instead of 2023.
Okay.
And here is a 5-minute long actual gameplay video to prove to you how far along we are.
Okay.
Are you saying that would not be taken, generally, as a whole, positively by the community?
As a whole, yes. But there's this wave of cautious optimism that would just basically overtake anybody. And then there's that one spoil sport killjoy that comes along.
Well, those people don't matter, though.
I mean, they do if they bring up valid points.
Yes, they do. You're right. But as a whole, to the marketing department, to the sales numbers, no, they don't.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Because, people, naysayers on Twitter don't matter. People who spoil plot points on the internet before a game comes out, like the people who leaked everything about The Last of Us before it released.
Yeah.
Those people don't matter. Because if you look at the actual sales numbers, people still bought the game in record-breaking amounts.
It's true.
And no one... Like Twitter is such a small percentage of the population. Not just in America, but all over the world. But especially in America, so many people don't have Twitter. The majority of people don't have Twitter. I don't know the exact numbers. I don't remember them right now. I do know they're very, very small. The ratio of people that do have Twitter to don't have Twitter. So all of those arguments that get blown up and that it feels like everyone is talking about, they don't exist in the actual world in the majority of society. They just don't. And that's something that I feel like a lot of industries, but gaming in particular, has a hard time remembering and reconciling with. Because all of that stupid shit does not matter. It just matters if the game is good. That's all that counts. If people know about it and if it's good.
Yeah.
And all it has to do... I mean, look at fucking Valheim. Valheim is just...
Do we have to look at it?
No, this is... It's you should. Because it's a really good case study here. Valheim just came out in Steam Early Access. Mm-hmm. Alright? It's not finished. It's not a done game.
Yeah.
But because so many people have been talking about it, because so many people have been posting stuff about it online, but also because anyone who watches it, obviously you don't fall into this category, but a lot of people, they enjoy watching it and they enjoy seeing it, and then they want to play it for themselves.
Yeah.
And because of that...
It's a very popular genre of game.
It does all of the things that genre does...
Better.
A little better.
And I get that.
It's made over 3 million sales already.
Wow.
3 million.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's an incredible
That's
number
a lot
of
for
sales
a game that is still in
early access game that just came out in February of this year.
That's impressive.
Yes.
Is that more of a testament?
I know. Well, I'll say this too. But before we go on, that it was 2 million 4 days ago.
Wow,
1 million
4
of
days
those
ago.
were just in 4 days.
Wow. Okay. Now I was going to ask if that's a testament to how good the game is, or how excited people are for something new.
No, that is literally
both.
It took about a week to make to 1 million.
Yeah.
It took about another week to make it to 2 million, and then
And
less
then
than a
4
week
days.
to
Wow.
make it to 3 million.
All right.
And
at least one of those sales is us, so you're welcome.
it's true.
That's got to be.
It is.
Statistically, it's got to be.
One of those is me. And another one should be you. And then we could play together on this year's newest Among Us, Valheim.
I don't want to play it, though.
Now, here's the question.
I'm already bored.
Will there be an Among Us mode in Valheim, or will there be a Valheim mode in Among Us? Which mod will come first?
Will there be a way where you can...
Will you be an imposter Viking, or will the Viking be the imposter?
Well, I mean, with a lot of those games, you can make your own game modes eventually somewhere down the line. Because you can do that in 7 Days to Die now. It fucking took them long enough, but you can make your own game modes and custom worlds and
Every
things.
time I see that someone's playing 7 Days to Die, I remember the game exists.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh yeah! Why are you playing that?
Yep. I only know so much about the current state of it is because my brother-in-law, it's the only game he streams on Twitch.
Okay.
Every Monday and Tuesday.
He streams 7 Days to Die?
From noon to 4.
Good lord.
There's your plug right there.
Did he ask you to plug?
Vital. No, I didn't. I just figured it'd be a nice thing to do, you know, because he's a genuinely nice guy.
You're looking more like a snake and less like a monster at this point.
I thought big floppy hot dog.
It's like
yeah, like a hot dog falling down a gutter.
Just a cock with mouths. Like blop, blop.
See, now that's fucking horrifying.
Blorp. Blorp.
Big bloody tentacle cock with mouths.
Oh, speaking of horrifying, I'll tell you what. Zoe is listening to a Stephen King book on audiobook.
Yeah.
And the voice actors are just god awful.
Oh,
they're just god awful,
no.
and I hate it. And also, like, you know, I mean, obviously, like, they're reading Stephen King's writing, so it's not great anyway. But
Right.
the voice actors are just so bad.
Have you seen this remake of The Stand?
It's not out yet, is it?
Is it? I don't know. I
don't know. You said.
I keep seeing advertisements for it. I don't really watch much TV unless it's a sporting event.
Right.
So I just
Too cool for TV, are you?
No, I don't. I'm behind on everything, and nothing really has caught my interest. Like the last TV show I sat down and watched was Gotham, and I got through like maybe 2.5 seasons of that before I'm just like, I'm fucking done.
Well, I'll tell you, if that's where you're starting, I feel like I found your first problem.
Yeah.
There's better TV than the WB.
I know.
I promise
I
you.
know.
Or was that the CW?
It was the No, that was actually that one was on Fox.
That was on Fox. So much better.
They got all the rights to the characters that aren't Batman and the Joker. Well, even though they did have a Joker on there.
Oh, did you watch the Justice League Snyder Cut trailer?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, talk about that.
I'm getting HBO Max, as a matter of fact. I'm getting it this weekend because I still want to see the Wonder Woman movie and the new Suicide Squad movie and the new season of Doom Patrol. Because DC did this thing where it's like, hey, we're going to change from DC Universe to DC Infinite so you can have all of your comics and shit in one place. But what they didn't tell you was like either that or it just fucking went completely over my head, is that they're splitting the comics portion and the shows and movie portion, and they're putting all the shows and movies and everything like that, all their media that isn't comic books, on HBO Max.
Yes.
So now I'm going to get an HBO Max subscription in addition to my DC Infinite subscription.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the whole point. That's the whole point.
I'm aware just to get more fucking money out of me, and you know what? It fucking worked. So what the fuck? But
I mean, that just sounds like your fault for buying into the
bullshit.
I
didn't. It's not bullshit if I'm actually genuinely enjoying the media I'm buying.
Well, yeah, but you were enjoying it already, and now you have
I have to
pay
pay double for it
to get the same media.
It's fine
because they moved all the media that you could already access for free to somewhere else.
It's fine.
Why is it fine though? Why is that okay?
It's fine because in addition to the DC stuff, I get all the future Warner Brothers stuff that's going to come out on HBO Max.
Well, I will say that
the Mortal Kombat movie, for instance.
I will say that we also have HBO Max.
Yeah,
and well,
I hear it's a good service to have.
You know, I don't care about any of the things that you just said.
Right.
But I did use it to rewatch some Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And the Mortal Kombat movie is coming out on HBO Max. And
you also get
the Matrix 4.
Yeah, the Matrix 4
is coming out on HBO Max.
Yeah.
And I would pay to any company money to let me see another Matrix movie.
Right.
So.
But you also get Bored to Death and Sopranos and
is Bored to Death on there?
It should be. It's HBO.
I have them all saved on the computer, so it's not really necessary.
Right,
because I've had the hard drive for forever that had all the Bored to Deaths on them.
Yeah.
But I do think I'm missing like 2 episodes.
So yeah, you can go back and see the ones you're missing.
I do like Bored to Death. That's a good show.
Yeah.
Jason Schwartzman's pretty good in most things.
Yeah, Ted Danson too. Even though he's
Danson.
Crazy as a fucking loon.
Is he crazy?
I think he. I
is
could
he
be
like crazy white ring.
Yeah, I think crazy
right wing
white guy.
Yeah.
I think he's in the same vein. I could just be thinking of James Woods.
James Woods is crazy.
James Woods is legitimately fucking crazy.
Yes.
And it's like I thought about it for years. It's like, how can James Woods play such a perfect asshole in every movie he's in? It's because he is a perfect asshole.
Because he is just an asshole.
Because he's just an asshole.
Yeah.
It's like, I remember Lester Diamond. It's like, fuck you, Lester, in Casino. Fuck you. You're a piece of shit, but He does such a good job of making you want to hate him. And now we all understand why.
Yeah, because you just hate him anyway.
Because you just fucking hate him anyway. I'm gonna go back and rewatch Casino.
Any excuse, right?
It's a fucking good movie. Is it on HBO Max?
There's a DVD around here somewhere.
Yeah, that's the last time I watched Casino, was when I borrowed your DVD of Casino.
Yeah. I have to pee. Are we done with this?
I mean, we can be. We're like...
We've got to be close,
really
right?
close to the end.
We really close?
We're really close.
Okay, if we're really close, I'll hold it.
Yeah.
All right, you're seriously on fire,
I'm
though.
on fire.
Good lord, your whole body's on fire.
See, here's the thing. I thought the fire would go out. I just powered through and got.
You
to
thought
the,
it was like a video game that the power.
The fire would eventually go out. No,
But it
you just
did.
fucking burn to death.
Oh, you're just a flammable monster.
Yeah, you're just really fucking flammable. Which doesn't make much sense to me because look at him.
You could be made or some sort of flammable mucus. That makes sense.
Flammable mucus, I guess, but he's so wet.
Right now, because he's in the water.
He was wet before.
I think it makes sense. I think that the monster needs a weakness.
Yeah.
And if fire is a good generic weakness for a monster to have.
I feel like electricity would have been better.
Why? You like rip through doors and walls and you can't do electricity because you have to turn the switches
that's true,
and stuff.
the switches and shit.
But yeah, look, like there's the flamethrower guy, but then there's water right there. So if you get wet, you can,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
It does.
I think that's good. That's good gameplay.
Yeah, you have to have something that'll actually... You can't just be an all-power fucking monster. That's boring.
Well, I don't know about that. I think that a little bit of challenge is good, and then overwhelming you with a little bit of challenge is better than just having one thing that's terrible, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's the... again, like Dark Souls, you know, any one-on-one fight in Dark Souls is fairly easy. But it's when you walk into a room and then two dudes from either side of the room are hitting you in two different ways and you have to block and hit both of them without exposing yourself to the other, and that's where it gets complicated. And then, you know, to make that even worse, just add one extra person. And so that type of setup, I think, is good. What's that thing?
These are drones.
Oh, no, drones.
I have to fight these drones before
Yeah, it's
I
been
can
a while
progress.
since I played this. I remember the drones. I thought they explode. Maybe there's exploding ones later. Maybe
Yeah, I think that might be later, because I didn't encounter any of those. I really like the conveniently placed health portal here. It really made this fight a lot easier. I didn't like these things when I first fucking fought them, though.
Oh, yeah.
Anything with a fucking shield I just hate.
Smashy, smashy, smashy.
I really love the grab and smash. Ugh. This game is just fantastic to me, alright? And, you know...
It's a fine game.
It's payback for boring me with another crafty game.
I can't imagine what game you'd be referring to.
The last week's
I think,
endeavor. It turned out to be a really fun episode, though. I mean, well, I always have fun with these.
Oh.
Don't imply that I don't. Shut up.
It's good somebody does. That's what's important.
One of us fucking has to. Somebody has to enjoy something.
Oh no, there's two flamethrowers
Two
now.
fucking flamethrower guys.
Oh, nice. See, look, and there's water down there
There's water.
too, so just in case.
That's good level design.
It is.
That's another thing
It
about
is.
that I really like about this game. The level design is just really,
Yeah,
really
I just
good.
wish it was more like noticeable when you were where you were. Like,
Yeah.
it's so hard to figure out. I don't know. Like, even if you don't want to do a map, maybe like a. I don't know. I mean, you have the echolocation thing that kind of helps, but it's not super necessary.
I don't think there's a way to differentiate between a save point you've already used and a save point that, you know, isn't used.
Hasn't been opened yet.
Yeah. That would be way more handy.
Yeah, just like maybe different colors for
yeah,
that.
exactly.
And then have it go longer out. Like it won't be like when you do it and there's not one near how it doesn't show up.
Yeah, like little sound waves will be.
It'll
do
do
it
it no matter how far away you are,
Yeah.
so that you can always find your way back to a save point. That
Yeah.
might, do something. But I still think that just knowing where the different areas are in this type of game is super important.
Mm-hmm.
And when you come across locked doors, marking that's the best thing any game can do on the game map. Oh my god. It is when you come up on a locked door, the map will tell you the door is locked. And that's like going all the way back to like fucking like Silent Hill 2 did that shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and Silent Hill 2 did the fantastic thing of it differentiated between whether a door was locked and you could open it later, or whether it was just locked because the game didn't. That's not.
You ain't going back there.
Yeah, and it was the difference was it is locked for an actual locked door, or it looks like the lock is broken for just a set dressing door, and that's perfect. Anyway,
All right.
Silent Hill 2 was a great game.
Silent Hill 2 was a really great game.
I really enjoyed talking about Silent Hill 2.
Oh, well, excellent. We should probably do an episode on Silent Hill 2.
Mitchell and I have done several.
All right, then. We should do an episode on the Silent Hill series.
I have to pee.
All right. Good night, everybody.
When did this game come out? Is this okay for late to the game? I don't know if this has been a full year.
You know, I'm counting it because...
well, the last year was like super long, so I guess
Yeah.
anything that came out in 2020 counts as a year ago.
Yep.
That's fair.
Sure is.
Okay, so
Sure
it wasn't 2021, so anything pre-2021 is now valid.
Yep.
All right, well
That's
there.
the way I'm looking at it.
Okay, yeah, that's new rule.
All right.
Anything pre-2021. All right, we can play good games again.
Shit, yeah.
All right, well, fuck yeah, stay tuned for Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, fuck yeah. I love Ghost of Tsushima.
It's such a
That's
good
a
game.
fucking good game.
That's a good, and you know what's great about that game? It's fun to fucking look at.
We should do it in Kurosawa mode.
Oh man, yeah, just ruin it. There's parts in that fucking game where it's just like, go to the tree with the blue flowers.
Oh,
and I'm just like, how do I do this? All right.